Hey peeps, welcome to Willow's Pillow Talk. I am, in fact, Willow Schuyler. With me today is my boss from Hanging with Web Show. GW, tell us about yourself.
Hi, everybody. I'm GW Pomacher. I am the host of the Hanging with Web Show and the executive producer at HWWS Web TV. That's right. It's Facebook's very own real live social media television network. And we are so excited to have Willow's Pillow Talk on our roster of shows and so many awesome other shows. And with me tonight is...
Hi, I'm Sage Ia.
That's right, and we also have the disembodied spirit,
The magic hand.
the magic hand.
There's the
there we go.
magic hand.
That's right. Dina is in the house today, so she can actually talk too. We gave her a mic, so
Oh, nice.
Hello, but I'm not going on camera.
yeah.
I understand that completely. It's okay.
She's the Hanging with Web Show's version of Wilson from Home Improvement.
Thank you.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Ooh,
thanks for having us on tonight, Willow.
Yes,
No
fabulous
problem.
hat.
Thank you. My mother-in-law knitted it for me. She goes, she was showing me it. She goes, "You like this? I found this pattern. Do you like it?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do." She goes, "Here, happy birthday." I'm just like, "Okay, I get a free hat."
Well, they need hats up there too, because
It's cold.
she's
Weather's
way up.
starting to turn, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It is a couple days into fall now. Up in
Yes,
Canada.
we here in Florida dropped 3 degrees. It's fall.
Shocker.
Yeah, it was what, like 87 today.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
You know,
crazy
the
out
park
there.
is in Tukes, man.
it's crazy
Couldn't
weather
be
out
any
there.
more Canadian than that, folks. But yeah, hey, speaking of which, Florida, you guys, I want to come visit you guys so bad. What would be the first thing that you guys show me in Florida?
Oh boy. Well, you know what? If you're coming all the way to Florida, then obviously we're going to go for the most obvious. We got to go to the beach.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, you got to go for the most obvious is
Hey,
you got to
bud,
go to
what's
the beach.
happening?
Hey, what's up?
Good. We'll get to the introductions in just a minute, Mart. I'm just
Sure.
finishing. Yeah.
So the first thing would be the beach, but then obviously, you know, we're huge Disney fans here, so we have to go to Disney World.
Hi, Larissa.
And,
Good
you
to
know,
see
even if it
you.
was just
Thank you for joining
lunch at downtown Disney at Disney Springs.
Indeed.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So
Yeah. I'm planning a trip to Florida one of these days once I am able to travel, and they were just telling me where they would take me.
absolutely, yeah.
But Mart, tell me about yourself.
Tell me about myself. I'm a former cable access television host. I've been playing a odd brand of folk punk, folk hardcore for almost 30 years. And I don't know, I've worked in a lot of like heavy metal and punk rock nightclubs. And
Oh, wow.
I've kept my voice in like university radio, and yeah, I'm
Welcome, Brian and Nicole. Sorry, go ahead, Mart.
I'm just an active guy.
Do this tomorrow. There's something fun. Just tell me. So I should skip this into the laptop.
Sorry, Nicole, I'm gonna mute you for a little bit. All right. So sorry, Mart. What were you saying?
I was just saying I'm an active guy. I do things with my life and everything like that. I do professional acting too. I'm on the stage, you know, putting out the lines and doing the actions and stuff like that. And yeah, it's been a tough year with COVID-19. I had a lot of
Yeah.
things that were like in the horizons to do, and I've had to back that up. Lucky for me, you know, I'm into doing shit like reading, and I never get bored of any TV show I watch. So
Awesome.
yeah.
All right. And Larissa,
Hello.
hi. So you are an author. I'm looking
Yes, I
forward to
am.
hearing about this. Tell me about your stories.
I am a self-published author, artist, veteran, trans woman advocate, and I'm in the process of putting together my own independent publishing company.
Awesome. I I got some of the pictures from Terry about your work, and so I'm excited to show that. I'm glad that you joined us. I'm glad that I'm meeting you now. We have some interesting topics that I want to touch on, so I definitely want your opinion on a few
Oh,
things.
absolutely.
Um, and my co-host
So
from
I'm
Raising
adding the
Heels,
heroes.
Nicole, Brian, and their son. How's it going?
The joys of being a mom working two jobs. That's what it is.
Yeah.
He's like, I need help with my math, and I'm like, okay, what is it? He hands it to me. I'm like, it's just adding zeros and subtracting zeros because it's place value.
100 times 32.
3,200.
Nicole is a teacher down in Florida.
I'm a reading teacher. I don't math. Okay, what? Okay, so you're dividing. If when you multiply, you're adding zeros to it. Then when you divide, what are you
So
doing?
I'm gonna get started with the topics here. Well, first of all, I have on the list as WB canceling Supergirl. What does this mean for the DC universe? And will we see more women-driven superheroes? Go ahead and talk. Whoever has an opinion.
I've been so busy, I have not been able to keep up on the Supergirls except on Netflix.
Yeah.
I'm in the process of writing book number 2. And yeah, this is the first I've heard about it. Yeah, and it's sad and depressing.
Yeah, I don't really watch it myself, but I've watched a few episodes and I like them. I definitely like what the DC universe is doing for TV shows. Way better than what Marvel's doing, unfortunately. But they're. But I'm a
You know
Marvel
what,
girl.
can
I will
I-
always be a Marvel girl.
I found Supergirl a little confusing to watch sometimes. Now I'd watch like 3 or 4 episodes in a row, and sometimes I found it confusing. But then there's confusing that's good. Like I really like the Doom Patrol TV series. For some reason or another, they discontinued it here in Canada. Maybe too much
Hey,
swearing
Brian.
on the TV or whatever. But I'm a little disappointed by that. I kind of like sitting there trying to figure it out. If you saw the Doom Patrol TV show, I don't know if anyone did.
Brian and Nicole, how do you guys feel about WB canceling Supergirl?
Well, I think a lot of it though has to do with her pregnancy.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, I need
Yeah.
to read.
Well, I mean, the 6 seasons for a show like that is remarkable.
Yeah.
I mean, there's never going to be another show like Supernatural that runs like 15 seasons. So for a genre show like Supergirl to do 6 seasons, and what Arrow did 8 seasons, right? I believe. Yeah. So I mean, and then Smallville did 10. So I think like that's the magic number for these type of shows. And so since she's pregnant, I think she's going to concentrate on being a mom.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised. Sorry,
No, go ahead.
Why do I have an echo? I can hear myself. I'm sorry. So I'm kind of surprised that they didn't replace it with something else, though, considering it really was the only female-centered CW.
I mean, there's Batgirl.
Okay, but that's already
Or
had
Batwoman, I mean.
already had enough, issues that, to replace a star and then have all of that going on. It's a different kind of show. Like, it's a different kind of show.
Yeah.
I know
Um,
some of my friends have said that with Supergirl, as soon as they released Clarissa Blackheart, the show's kind of gone up and down, and they said that was kind of a big mistake. But I know there was budget reasons, and
yeah.
I mean, when you're a name like that, I'm sure you're
Well,
not.
Clarissa was also a contract player for CBS. So she had conflicts with the contract being able to do it when they moved to CW. So
Which is interesting because CBS has a stake in that channel.
yeah, but CBS itself is the main broadcast entity for, and she's a contract player for them. So and let's face it, they'll have plenty of shows to stick her in. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, but I mean, 6 years. Brian said it right out. 6 years is a good long while. Anyway, 5 years is usually a nice genre show run. About midway through their 5 years, if they hit their mark, it's usually that's when it's done. But it's very rare for a show to go any further than that. But the reality is that they still have use for that character via crossovers now that the universes have been collapsed together, and the Superman and Lois show coming. So there are opportunities for her to appear the same way Tyler Hoechlin did on her show. She'll get to do on his show now. So I think they're going to have opportunities for the character.
And
In
she'll
a
be able
larger,
to really like super kick butt if they have guest appearances and crossovers.
Oh, yeah, I
'cause
mean-
she got beat up a lot.
Well, and the reality is you when you see one of those shows and you see a character from another show, especially one that's not on anymore, it sends the audience right through the roof, and their and their numbers go sky high. So all you have to do is wait about 3/4 of the way through Superman and Lois season 2 after she's been off for 6 months, and then have her show up, and all of a sudden in a teaser, and all of a sudden the show numbers go through the roof. So it's good business, and there are a lot of good things they can do with her. And again, the CW has done a great thing about creating this shared television universe. So it's not just Superman that she can show up on. She's got the Flash, and she's got. There are going to be another season of Batwoman now that they've got that worked out. So. We've got.
Wait to see the new Batwoman though.
Yeah, it'll be
That's
interesting.
exciting.
It'll be interesting to see how they introduce that. It'll be a lot of fun.
Well, they said it's a brand new character that's not even
is.
in the comics.
Yeah.
And they said that Kate is out there somewhere. So
Yeah, they're creating a new.
Come back.
Yeah, they're creating a new character, sort of to fill the void by Kate leaving. So that's going to be sort of the arc. And so that'll be a lot of fun to see, how they work that in and introduce her to all things that are the Batman universe. And then,
And I think I'm gonna miss Brainy too.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they had some great characters, but again, lots of crossover opportunities. So.
Well,
That's-
Warner Brothers is putting a high stake in the Ezra Miller Flash movie, which we already know that the CW shows are in that universe as well. With the big crossover last year when he showed up on the Flash.
Mhm.
I know that they've been wanting to do an actual Supergirl movie, so I think they're going to use the Flash movie to introduce a cinematic Supergirl.
Oh, it's possible, and again, they the Berlanti-verse took a huge risk introducing the Crisis as the big crossover, and they worked toward that for 2 years. They had the idea for 2 years, and they worked toward it for 2 years, and it was a huge risk for them to do. It paid
Holy,
off.
someone else's show, Batman.
It paid off with such dividends, though, that the DCEU is doubling down. They know that's where their money's at, is in creating a multiverse, so that all of these disparate products, all of these disparate characters that we've seen throughout the last 40 years of DC movies can all exist in the multiverse. Yes. And that's why they're bringing Keaton forward. That's why they're talking about Ben Affleck doing a short crossover in the movie. So they're doubling down. They're going to create a multiverse that's going to be a lot of fun, where they can do anything and anything
I'm
goes.
excited for that, but I really hope that for the next big, story arc that they do a little bit at a time for the shows and then make a movie for it, because that there's things that need to be made into a 2-hour spectacular movie.
Well, and there's some things that have their roots. Some things that have their roots in serialized storytelling. It'll be great to see Superman back on the air.
Yeah.
And I do think before long we're going to get an on-screen Batman, because that's the roots of a live-action Batman are on in serialized storytelling. In '43, they did the serials for the theater, the little 20-minute serials, and then in the '60s we got wham pow campy Batman. But
Yeah.
those are their media roots. So it'll be good to have Superman back on the small screen. It'll be good to have, I think, Batman will be coming back on the small screen. Remember, that was what Arrow was supposed to be. Arrow was supposed to be a Batman show.
Oops.
That was a last minute. It was a last minute rewrite and rebrand, because they couldn't get the character rights from.
Well, yeah, because Warner Brothers had that rule that the Holy Trinity could not be touched because they were going to be used for film. So Wonder Woman, Batman, and Superman were off limits.
Yep.
And as much as I don't like AT&T is changing that rule, and that's what we're going to be seeing. And don't forget, HBO Max now is going to play a big role in the Arrowverse with their Green Lantern series. So,
Well, and they're also the repository for all of the. What was it? How do we do that? The artist formerly known as DC Universe.
Yes,
That's
something
how we
like
can
that.
do that.
Well, no, I'm with Mark because I'm excited because Doom Patrol.
Yeah.
Doom
yeah.
Patrol. Okay.
Doom Patrol
I
Titans.
love Doom Patrol.
The best episode is when you flex the wrong muscle.
Yeah, I just it's I love the irreverent look that DC Universe took with the production of some of the shows, including Titans. Titans was great. They started out with a teaser that was F Batman.
Yes.
I mean, that was we're going a different direction now, and so they I love the
fresh, and I
direction
love
they've
it.
taken, and now that they're moving over to HBO Max, that's going to be awesome. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I was
Deeper
really,
pockets.
Yeah, and well, that's how you get stuff done with
Mhm.
money. But I was really surprised that, I kind of felt like Doom Patrol was DC's answer to Guardians of the Galaxy. It's that they took this band of, it's not us,
No, I know.
but there's an echo.
Yeah. Sorry.
Can I ask
to
a question?
everybody.
What's going on?
Please.
Okay, Mittens.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Does it matter who the actors are who play the comic book characters? I watch a lot of these like comic book TV shows, and I don't know any of the actors before I go into it watching it, and I like it just fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it makes a difference because nobody really knew who Stephen Amell was, and he broke out as Green Arrow, and I think he kind of made a name for that character. It was like a return of Oliver Queen.
Well, unless you were Willow, because he did have that following in Canada. But here in the States and worldwide, nobody knew who Stephen Amell was.
Okay, but stateside, we didn't really know who he was. And at that point, I think that, it kind of won people over. And then I think it was a lot of the things that DC's done has tried to mirror Marvel, and where DC kills it as far as their shows is that there is a crossover effect. Like you can have multiple characters in this universe and they all kind of like show up on everybody else's shows. And I think it kept people interested and it kept it exciting. And if you only have 3 characters in your movies that are ever playing anything together, then you're missing out on 40,000 other characters.
Yeah, see, that was my issue with WB, who owns DC since the very beginning almost. All they cared about was Batman, Superman. If you look at, we got Batman movie, Superman movie, Batman, you have thousands of characters, and I'm glad that we're finally seeing these characters.
Yeah.
I love Batman. Don't get me wrong. I really do. I love Batman. And I love Robin, and I love Nightwing now too, which I didn't essentially love at first. But
Yeah.
I think like if you take away all of the movie rights and we put them on TV, it's not going to hurt it. I think it would only help it because it would make it a wider audience and we could follow, the stories and we might be more invested.
Well, I think that was one of the positive things about start kicking off the Super franchise at the CW with Supergirl, because it showed a more diverse universe than a traditional Superman. So I think that it's going to open up some opportunities for the Superman and Lois show because of the ground that Supergirl has already tread. So that it's going to have there'll be a little bit more well-rounded storytelling. If you look back at Superman's history on TV, it was a very flat, and Superman is by nature, those stories, especially early on, were written in a time when it was a very gender-dominated world. It was a very male-dominated world, and so Supergirl helped to break that mold, and it'll show. I think it's really going to show in the Superman television series in a big way. So she's going to have ripples that affect this entire universe moving forward, and arguably they tackled some pretty heady issues in the middle of those issues on Supergirl, and they were unabashed about it. They were unabashed about it at CBS, and then when they brought it over to CW, they kept it just as much as they could, given the superhero they built things around. I mean, this is this particular superhero is literally the white hat hero. That's an interesting character to really introduce all of these heady issues through.
That's true.
Normally they save that for the darker characters.
And wasn't it Supergirl? I think it's that show. Well, I know Arrow had an openly gay actor playing an openly gay character, and then in Supergirl had the transgender actor. I can't remember, but it was a superhero character, I believe. I've kind of fallen off Supergirl because there's so many other shows. So.
Yeah, they did, and they've also early on again they didn't shy away from, and this was when they were on CBS introducing Supergirl's sister's sexuality, and which was unheard of on CBS. On CW they'd already been doing it, so they didn't shy away from things.
Seeing, by the way, now that we're starting to see more representation in the media for trans, for bisexuals, for everybody from the LGBTQ community, and
people of color as well. I mean, you're starting to see a lot more of that.
I'm excited to see more storylines in the future for these people, for all of us, and that kind of leads into my next topic. J.K. Rowling's in the news again. I really want to ignore this bitch, but she's testing my patience. She's promoting anti-trans merch. And her latest book apparently is about a man dressing up as a woman and killing people. This woman has obviously made it her mission to piss off all the fans.
Nicole, right, or Oliver now. Leave your name and a callback number.
Sorry. But
listening on Facebook, please leave your name and a callback number. We will have Nicole get back to you just as quick as she can.
It might be a little while.
But I mean, like, as authors, Larissa and GW, how does this make you feel about a fellow author going in this direction to alienate her fans?
Well, for me, it was crushing, because when I started writing, J.K. Rowling was one of my inspirations. I saw this woman who was, destitute, and she wrote this amazing story, and she did all these amazing things. And it's one of those things where you finally meet your hero, and it is nothing like you hope or expect. As an author, as a human being, honestly, I find her extremely disappointing.
Yeah.
In quote.
Yeah, J.K. Rowling has this innate ability to sense what's going to end up in the news. She really does, and from the very beginning. You know, when before I mean the creative arts has always been one of the most open communities that you can choose professionally in terms of ethnic diversity, in terms of LGBTQ diversity. However, you know, way before it was cool to talk about LGBT rights. You know, J.K. Rowling was out there, you know, on the early versions of Twitter, you know, and talking about, you know, the LGBTQ community, and people over at the, what is it, Pottermore website were promoting, you know, various, you know, there were the Dumbledore theories that she confirmed and then later denied and then confirmed, and I don't know where we're at now on the subject, but she seems to have an innate ability to keep her name in the headlines. And now that the LGBTQ, I lost track of all of the letters. How many are there now?
LG, LGBTQ
LGBTQ plus
AP.
AP. There you go. Okay. So
AP
now
plus,
that now that we're, you know, the world, not just the community, but now that the world has become a place where we have these discussions where we talk about acceptance, now J.K. Rowling is all of a sudden going to go the other way, and controversy does get headlines. So, and I'm sure I can speak for Larissa as well. J.K. Rowling has the singular talent that we as authors lack, and that is the ability to keep herself front and center in the headlines when she has a new project coming out.
Oh, absolutely.
And so people who hate what she had to say will go buy the book just to see, oh my God, what is she saying now? And you know, that's just a marketing technique that, fortunately, I think gladly, many of us don't employ. Just, you know, if my book doesn't sell itself, then I don't need to be out making controversial statements to do it. But she's been doing it the whole time, guys. She's been doing it since way back in the Harry Potter days. She knows how to sell her books and what's going to get her in the news.
Because it's the age of the internet, I guess more is being heard of her than we like.
Well, sadly, you know, that you know, I think and television studios are finding this out, movie studios are finding this out, publishers are finding this out. Sadly, that rubs both ways. So it used to be you'd say something controversial, it would run the news cycle, you'd push a few books a little while, and then it would go away. But in today's world, social media is keeping stories alive a lot longer, and it rubs both ways. And so I think this may, and again, maybe this is how she truly feels. I don't know. I don't know her. We don't hang out. We don't have coffee together. So I really have no way of knowing. But
well, in her case, it would be tea.
Yeah, well, yeah. No. She's in England where tea is popular, so she would tweet out that coffee rocks because that's what she does. But we, you know, since we don't do that, we really don't know what's on her mind. If this is how she really feels, it's how she really feels. If she's thinking she can push the press buttons, then I think she's going to find out that she's mistaken, because the internet makes things last a long time, and people don't forget. And I don't know, Larissa, people aren't going to forget this, huh? No.
I think it's most detrimental, though, because of her audience. Like, her original audience was kids. And when we start alienating a group of kids who have gotten very used to being very open about certain things and understanding each other as far as their own, like, their own differences and what makes them who they are, is that once you have decided that, it's harder to say, okay, well, you know, you're my inspiration. And I think a lot of, you know, hopes and dreams get dashed because they can no longer count on that, because our kids don't necessarily understand that, you know, it's all about how you swing it. It's like, it's about how you wag the dog, not necessarily about anything else. And that is unfortunate, because our kids are going to take the hit.
Yeah, well, they are, and without a doubt. And I think one of the biggest things is part of that miscalculation is that 25, 30 years ago, you said these things, and then 5 years later, you could come out and say, "Oh, I've grown as a person, and I've learned so much, and I've done these things." And the original comment was so far in the past that nobody cared about it, and you could just move on with your life.
Yeah.
That's not the world we live in today. I mean, we've
No.
seen movie directors, we've seen authors with publishing contracts canceled because of something they tweeted 5 or 6 years ago. So it's a different world than I think she's calculated for, and I think she's going to regret it for a very long time. And I know that her audiences are, everybody's a little bit J.K. Rowling out a little bit.
Yeah.
Just she did a great. The Harry Potter series is arguably one of the best.
That's it, yes. Thank you for
fantasy.
the Harry
Yeah,
Potter.
thank you for
now
Harry
give
Potter.
it to us and leave it alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, that has reached such heights that it has its own, a pride of ownership going to its fans now rather than its writer. So it has a life of its own that she no longer controls. So, it is sad that it's going to happen, but again, the struggle to stay relevant in a world with a media cycle that is 16 seconds, rotating
Yeah.
is really hard. So I don't know her. I don't know how she really feels. So I won't judge her on that. I just will, as a writer, I can say big mistake. This
Yeah.
is not that kind of world anymore.
And I'd like to take an opportunity, Larissa. I was just showing you showing the people there, our viewers, the art that you've done, Gary.
Yes.
And then you have Pixie Press Publishing.
Pixie Press Publishing Company is in the works. It'll be bouncing off my second book, so which is still in the works as well. But I'm excited about it all. It's all going to come together. Pixie Press is going to fill a gap that I see is coming with all the LGBTQ youth that's coming out. A lot of the transgender youth. Pixie Press is going to focus on tailoring our stories and towards the trans and LGBTQ youth. Dragon Squadron, my first novel, has a transgender character towards the end, and she really comes into her own in the second book. It's sci-fi, fantasy, contemporary. Jamie is a big character, and I want to start making from now on. All my books will have trans characters.
That's awesome. I look forward to seeing them. I'll definitely be following your page tonight, and
thank you.
I definitely want to keep in contact and have you on the show again to show off your new work. And
I just want to say to Larissa, congratulations on working on your second novel. I love the look that you see between the first novel and the second novel, because look, you can still see she has hope in her eyes. They have the sales, the marketing and the sales of books hasn't taken the shine off of her yet. So,
well, as any author knows, that the secret isn't in writing the book; it's in the marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And writing the book was actually the easiest part in the world. But my thing is, I'm a disabled vet just trying to make it through every day. So, I have extreme budget constraints. So, and that's when I was asked to do the show tonight. I'm like, I'm on it. Absolutely.
I'm so glad that you joined us. Thank you. I know it's like my show's very random. I'm so sorry for the last minute invitation.
Oh, no. Yeah, good.
I just find that it's a nice social experiment, throwing a bunch of people who've never met in their lives, throwing them in a room and seeing what happens.
Well, and Larissa, it's really good to meet you, and you have a standing invitation whenever you want it to come on over to the Hanging with Web show and talk about your books.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Did you say that you were a vet?
Yes.
Thank you, Carrie.
Thank you for your service.
Wait, which service?
I was 6 years in the Army Aviation.
Huh? Outstanding.
Army buddies.
$16 million aircraft. I can take it apart, put it together again, and make it fly.
Outstanding.
So I just wanted to add as like the resident teacher in the room that generally when we talk about creating as creators, we create what we know. And so when we create what we know, those themes are pretty much strung through pretty much everything we write and everything we create. So if we don't shine light on creators that are living that life, then they're not giving a true voice to that life. And that when we say, but I've done all the research, there's so much that research can't that it can't teach you. There's so much that you are lost on if you're not actually living what's happening and understanding the changes that happen.
Research and history will never give you what the feeling is when you're there. You can know that somebody was floating on an ocean in 1492 with a lot of weather, but nobody was there you can't smell the salt, you can't feel the rocking of the boat, the wind in your hair, you just can't be there. So that's the difference between somebody like me writing my life and my experience into my book, and any author knows that each book that they put out is a little piece of them. And it'll always be, and that's not just after a while. You don't sell books, you sell yourself with it.
And I think that's the problem with the representation, is that we need more people representing whatever's happening in the life, so that people understand the life in a better way. I mean, I'm never going to know what it's like to be trans, but if I can connect with a character, it will help me understand how to approach anybody that I meet from here on out. So I can be more open-minded about it because I've actually, witnessed it happening from a character's eyes.
I started my transition 20 years ago, and things were a lot different then than they are now. And it was one of the things when I was in the military, I'd be sitting in the guard duty, and I'm like, what am I doing this for? Oh yeah, I'm doing this for all these other people. You can't. So when I got out of the military, I got out because it was time for me to begin my transition. I got to the point where life was not fun. And I did some almost bad things, but it was a point where I've grown so much since then, and the world has grown so much since then. Unfortunately, some people want it back the old way, and they can't have it. But now I lost my train of thought. It derailed.
Okay, that happens a lot for me.
That was a strong ending, though. We got to give him. That was a strong ending. Bam.
There you go.
But there are some other authors that I'd like to shine a light on. I wrote on Constellation 2020 and asking if there were any trans authors on the page. This page is great for knowledge, by the way. If you have a question, they will answer it, and they will answer it in droves. So I have Christy Jackson Nicholas, Zach, sorry, I really hope I'm saying this right, Wendler, Chrissy Garrison, August Grappin, Avi Silver, Daniel Berg, Ian Madison Keller, everybody just on this page is, wow. Lyndon Lewis, we have Kate.
So they're either a
Taylor.
trans author or have trans characters in their books?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I believe they're, if they're not trans, they're part of the LGBTQ community anyway. So I really want to support these people. And good on you guys for doing what you are doing. I appreciate it, and I really wish success upon you guys.
Thank you.
All right, the next one. Oh yeah, I have a friend who's an author. I'm such a bad friend. Shandy Strong. She's a fellow Winnipegger. Good friend. She's in the Manitoba government. For the Liberal Party. I we'll definitely have her on the show one of these days. She's a fantastic person. She was part of our Pride celebration for the longest time. She just her work with the public is amazing, and I really can't wait to have you guys meet her.
What is the title of that book?
It is called Growing a Pair: My Life, My Way, My Words.
Nice. Okay. I couldn't see that, and I could only see a couple of letters, and all different kinds of things went through my brain. The first one I thought it said "moving is a pain," which is also true.
There's a comment over in the chat from Terry who said, "Yeah, that genie ain't going back in the bottle." I think he was responding to Larissa, but just in response to that, if you're in the chat or you're watching the show, don't you believe it? Fight the fight every day. There are too many people out there fighting to put the genie back in the bottle. So don't you believe it? Keep fighting. Fight the fight every day, guys. You can't let it go away.
Yeah, I definitely want to see progress happen with the world. I don't want, if you have to try to take away another person's human rights, you are not a nice person at all. And we all should be accepting of each other. That's what the Bible says. That's what I was taught. If you guys want to argue with me over the Bible, have at it. I grew up in the Bible Belt. I know the true words of God. Even though that I grew up in a place where it was very conservative. But okay.
Don't worry, I'm not arguing the Bible with you.
By the way, Christian was in here in the chat a while ago. I don't know if he's still here. Congratulations.
Oh, you would know if he was still there.
Congratulations on hoarding yourself so much around the internet. You got 38,000 followers.
Well said. Well said.
He is a true inspiration, which I will. I do have to say that I was trying to get a job with CBC Radio. There's a job posting, and one of the things that they're hiring for is show host, and all the things that they want in the show host is pretty much everything that I'm doing right now. Okay, I do community service with my community center. I'm part of the LGBTQ community. You have to be part of the community in order to be, basically promote it. So CBC, let's see if I can get this hashtag trending, by the way. I don't know if it'll actually happen, but CBC Radio, Willow?
I like that.
Oh, absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah, I like it.
If I had my phone, it would be on my site right now.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So yeah,
Terry, put that in the chat.
Terry, yeah, the social media chat, Terry.
Yes, Terry.
Get that just get that hashtag trending.
Hashtag CBC Radio Hire Willow.
That's right.
Do it.
Does that mean
right.
Canadian broadcast channel?
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, and yeah, that's my whoring for the evening. Christian has said that every radio show, radio host has an ego. I'm not working part of the industry yet, so I can't say I have an ego. I guess this proves that I have one.
I don't know. I do a radio show. When I do my radio show, I have my fortitude, in me.
We're all sitting in rooms staring at cameras talking to the 2 billion people on the internet.
We all have an ego.
Yeah. I mean, that's look where we are. So
It's perfectly normal.
Yes. Well, yes, it is.
It is.
Yes, that's right. Oh, wait. We have one in the
Careful.
room that doesn't have an ego, so we have to just show her fingertips.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
Mart, how long have you been hosting your show, by the way?
I started in 2011.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. As a late night thing to do, I was an unemployed guy. Still, kind of still unemployed, but I don't care now. But yeah, I was looking for something to do, and a late night spot came up for a radio station, 6 hours. Late in the evening, and I said, "What the hell? I got no job to go out to in the daytime or anything like that. I could spare, 6 hours late at night. Uh, they let me play the music I want. They let me they let me do what I want. I even do like a radio play where I use comic books and stuff like that. And um,
What kind of music?
well, punk, metal, local band music. Um, yeah, I give a big mishmash of all different stuff.
Did you say 6 hours?
Yeah,
Wow.
6 hours.
That's a long time to
You definitely
talk.
have the stamina. That is incredible. I don't know if I could do a show for 6 hours, but we'll see if I can even do two.
Have you been on our show?
um,
Dina, in the chat, can you go ahead and pick a personality? You have multiple personality disorder every time you type something. You gotta, yeah.
yeah,
I think that's funny.
Terry is one of our talent gatherers and promoters, and we are incredibly thankful for this man. He's the one who actually made my logo, so I have to give him a shout out every chance I get.
Yes, he's a vampire, so be nice to him.
If you're watching this show right now on HWWS Web TV, it's Terry's fault. You can blame him. Reach out to TerryMadeMeWatch.com.
That's true.
Yeah.
I just checked the site; it crashed.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, but Josh Bauer, you got it. It's for real.
Josh is a great artist as well, and I'm gonna get him to make my intro. I'm gonna be sending him my theme music, but I'm sure but I trust you fully. If you think that big band music isn't suited for the show, I'll trust you on that. Oh my God, Terry, go to bed.
What time is it in Ireland right now? It's what?
They're like 5 hours ahead.
It's got like 1 in the morning there almost, right?
Harry, you can't afford to sleep when you're dead.
That may have sounded like a threat because I have such a mom voice.
That's okay. When Terry's done, his mom takes over.
Huh.
She's done it before.
So, Mart, you do radio plays for for comic books. I'm interested in. I saw the X-Men, the first comic book picture of your on your page, and I'm just like, no. If there's anything that has to do with X-Men, and you need a voice, give me a shout, please.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I think I've done nearly all the characters in kind of a random kind of way, and yeah, I've done it all in kind of a random way, and I don't do all superheroes. I do sometimes Archie comic books. I do like the teen romance comic books. I don't mind having my voice all high in the air and everything like that, and to play the teenage girls and stuff like that. Yeah, pretty much. I don't know. It's just become this kind of labor of love that I do, and it's kept me occupied.
Can I make a cheap plug here since we're talking comics? this lady right here does comics in the classroom, where she helps. Yeah, I see that thumbs up. You want to go ahead and explain comics in the classroom? I mean, you've been on multiple panels already.
Because I have a pimp. In so many more ways than one. Anyways, so
comics in the classroom.
That's as good as the day when I walked right into the class saying, so like we were talking about explicit and implicit language, and so my kids are like, so like explicit lyrics, guys, and then he was like, oh, you mean like in Cardi B's song? And I was like, exactly like that. And so every single kid was like, can we watch the video? Can we do the dance? Can we blah, 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 blah? And I'm like, no, you can't sing it. You can't think it. You can't do any of it. Because she was, she was true. So, anyways, I'm sorry.
Comics in the classroom.
Squirrel. So comics in the classroom was kind of a grassroots 2015 effort, I guess, in trying to help my kids read. And we wanted to do something fun. And I was tired of reading the same stuffy crap that we were reading in school. Oh my God, I can't believe I called it crap. Anyways, so I wanted to do something different, and I wanted to get kids engaged for that last month of the school year. So we read X-Men. God Loves, Man Kills. And so that kind of was the birth of the entire idea. And then I know I'm not the only one doing it, but I'm the most probably vocal in the state of Florida, I think, like Central Florida anyways, about trying to get out there and talk about it and say, we need to normalize comics. We need to have them in our classrooms. We need to even incorporate them in the lessons we teach.
Yeah.
Just to say, though, like to brag a little bit, because in the research that I did, kids did not understand. They don't understand facial expressions. They don't understand what eyebrows do. They didn't understand thought bubbles versus speech bubbles. They didn't understand any of that. So through comic books, it taught them what gets said and what doesn't get said. It taught them how to examine a person's face and understand the emotion that went along with it. Because so much of what we read now is just print based, that they've lost that ability to really look and understand facial expressions.
Yeah.
So that's it.
I look forward to seeing more coming from your the comics and the classroom stuff. Wow, brain just decided to take a trip on me. GW, what's happening in October?
Go ahead. Oh boy, here's what's happening in October. Willow, if you go over to your branding tab, you will find some new artwork. That's the very last thing in the art folder, right next to the picture of your author friend.
Ta-da!
Oh.
And that is, so we are introducing in October, HWWS Web TV is introducing HWWS Web TV presents Film Freaks. A watch party series. And what we're going to be doing is we are inviting our show hosts from all the different shows around HWWS Web TV. That's Reels and Heels, Willow's Pillow Talk, Lights, Thunder, Action. Oh, wait, I have to go to the list over here. Lights, Thunder, Action, Saturday Morning Cartoons, Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, Nerd Culture's Battle of the Nerds. We're inviting all the hosts to come periodically on and sort of take a page out of Mystery Science Theater 3000's
Yes, we're all
book.
going to watch together and talk
And
about
we're going to have a good time. We're going to watch any movie that we can find that's in the public domain. In the month of October, we chose horror and mystery movies for Halloween. And so October 3rd is City of the Dead. That was actually Brian Wenslow's suggestion in our producers thread.
City of the Dead, which used to be Horror Hotel.
Horror Hotel is how it was released in the U.S.
It didn't used to be. It's
That's
the same
right.
movie, but still.
And that's on October 3rd. October 17th is Night of the Living Dead.
Mm-hmm.
October 24th is And Then There Were None. Agatha Christie's, and then there were one. And then October 31st, brought to you by Willow's Pillow Talk, Willow Scholar herself, House on Haunted Hill
I look
with
forward
Vincent
to
Price.
that.
Yes.
I
So
will
that's what's coming up.
That's it. Oh, but you know what?
bring my best Elvira.
What?
Which one are you doing the walk on for?
You skipped a Saturday.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
Did because
Yes. Tell us why.
That's right.
And tell them why.
That's right. I did skip a Saturday. I skipped a Saturday because most of the HWWS Web TV family will be participating in some way with HarleyCon Part 2, which is October 10th, hosted and organized by our good friend Amelia Poole at Harlequin Arts Cosplay and Crafts. Thank you.
There you go.
And so that's October for the team.
So far.
Oh, wait. There's more. Well, wait. But wait, see?
Oh, no.
Josh was right. It would take me an hour just to read the board.
It would.
September 27th, that would be this Sunday.
This Sunday.
At 8 p.m. Sunday, we will be launching our very first HWWS Web TV's Match Games version is Mismatch Up.
Mm-hmm.
The Mismatch Up. And
Hosted by the esteemed Ryan Permisson over from Nerd Culture.
That's right. And
He's
so
got
we're
some
going to be
questions to
we're going to have that coming up this Saturday.
Sunday.
And the rest Sunday. Sorry, what? Sunday?
Yes,
Saturday.
Sunday.
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 Sunday. Okay. Saturday is Saturday morning cartoons.
That's right.
At 7 and 9 a.m.
Yes.
Both 7 and 9 a.m. And then also at 2:05 p.m. because he likes weird numbers. Brian and Nicole will be doing Reels and Heels. So
They have 5 minutes so that they can calm things down and say, okay, we have 5 minutes.
that's the 5 minutes where they're going to try to
Yes.
get the kids tucked away or playing or something.
Yes, it is.
And I know what that's like. Cosplay Michael sometimes it takes me at least 15 to get him that way. So that's what's coming up, Willow. Do you regret that question yet?
So the plug for your show said that we need to understand there might be adult language. So over in the chat just a few minutes ago, when I almost died for a second there, was Josh Bauer's that's a holy hell, that's a big pick.
Yeah.
And since I've spent the entire day with 13-year-olds, you can imagine what came into my head.
You can spend the day with Dina and you can do that.
I was like, holy hell, that's a big what? Oh.
I was trying to avoid this conversation, but
No,
let's be
you
honest,
can't.
It's called Pillow Talk for a reason.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Captain America showed a dick pic online, and the internet lost it.
What? How come I haven't seen that?
did you see his
He took
apology?
it down.
Or you know what? I feel bad for Chris Evans. I really do.
His
does-
apology made up for it, though.
I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad.
Like,
Yeah, I just want to I just want to go on the record here, guys. I am a straight man, and I feel bad that I didn't see this pic.
Okay, hey, wait a minute. Does that mean that that's... I can't say what I really want to say. Does that mean that that's America's...
That's America's dick.
Yes.
That's America's dick.
Excellent choice of words. That was not the word I was going for.
Well, I could have said a lot of things. Anyways, I'll leave that up to Christian. Is he still in the chat?
Get this man a shield!
I would say,
Nice.
I would say it broke the shield.
Oh my! So no, but what got me is the picture that was like next to the Twitter whatever, like in his feed or whatever it was.
Oh, is this about
was
party?
was a picture of him, and it was a meme that said "guard that pussy," which I was like, okay. Never mind.
You know what? I feel bad for the guy, but I mean, I just love how it was just like one post after another of people, losing their minds over the fact that they lost the opportunity to see it. I'm just like, so every nerd female completely came out as saying I would accept an unsolicited dick pic from Chris Evans.
Somebody saved that somewhere. It's out there now.
Yeah.
It's out there. You just gotta search it. I had a friend that screenshotted the screenshot and sent it to me, and I was like, ha ha ha.
There's guys. If you guys don't know this, there's actually there's a company out there that runs a record collection company, and that's what they do. They go around to social media feeds and they save them indefinitely on a server somewhere. So once you put it out there, just a warning to our viewers: if you put it out there and then you pull it down, sorry, it's out there. Somebody has probably got access to it. So be very careful what you put out there. And I do actually feel a little bad for Chris Evans because he's going to take a lot of flack.
Yeah.
That's true.
You know what?
I don't
though?
think
There's-
so, though, because it was, see, now that I've got your attention, go vote. So it was really, it's like, it's
Yeah.
all publicity. It was all, like, it was all.
There's great.
Oh,
memes
geez,
out
Josh
there.
Bauer.
All
I
right.
don't know if I should put that up.
Oh, so there's a meme of the poster from, I believe it's Winter Soldier, when he's in the back of the plane, he's about to jump, and so that's the top part, and the bottom part is the ground, and it's just like a shadow.
Shadow.
Of a penis.
And the one with the penis-shaped imprint in the road, that was another one.
Oh yeah, because it said, "Oh no,
Chris
he
Evans
tripped."
He
and-
tripped.
Oh man, we're gonna have a world of memes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't feel bad though, because it was well received.
Apparently.
No.
Apparently.
Personality for being a radio show host for CBC probably just just died.
It wasn't Willow's fault, it was mine.
Blame it on Nicole.
It's okay.
Blame it on
Howard
me.
Stern's been doing this shit for years.
Right? You see the money he makes?
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
I'm a middle
What he
school
says.
teacher. Apparently, it's not okay.
Oops.
My kids are like, "Do you swear?" And I'm like, "I'm a teacher and I have kids. Of course,
Well,
I swear."
in this case, I think it's fair to say that if anybody says anything to Nicole, it's your patriotic duty to keep your eye on this stuff.
That's exactly
You're
right.
a patriot. You're a patriot.
We are discussing serious pop culture here.
Yeah. You put the pop in that, didn't you? Yeah. Nice job. And you killed Nicole.
I didn't kill Nicole.
Okay, you have to bring it up. Bring it up.
Josh's comment.
Yes, we saw. Yes.
Yes.
As soon as I said it, I was like, "Oh shit!"
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Josh Bauer.
Oh,
Look at
damn
this
it.
unicorn.
Honestly, I have no other topics, so it's like free reign from here on out.
Oh no,
God.
that's scary.
You cannot say that to the internet.
Oh man,
No.
not in here.
Well, it's funny. Like I was actually thinking about doing like an Ask Willow kind of thing, and it's like, yeah, you know what? Probably not a good idea to have Twitch and YouTube be involved in this, but let's see what happens, shall we? Ask Willow anything. What do you guys have? Do you guys have any questions for me?
Oh, this is about to get really crazy, guys.
Well, I said this before, but it's not a question. It's more like a thank you. Thank you for doing this type of show. And I'm glad that Nicole was able to come out on your show a couple weeks ago.
No problem at all.
I think part of my recent transformation into just being a happier person is the fact that I finally said it out loud.
Yeah. And by the way, it is by Visibility Day. So, yeah, cool. We're awesome.
It's actually a whole
more
week.
socially awkward than that.
That's better than Checkers Day, which is also today.
Checkers Day, as in like the game?
Yes.
There's a Checkers Day.
Oh.
Yes. What were you thinking of? Like, ooh, a Checkers Day? No, not that kind of.
I was thinking the fast food restaurant. You see where my head is at. Did I become a man all of a sudden? Is sex and food were like my first two concerns.
Oh, I don't know.
Welcome to
I don't
our
think you have to
world.
be. I don't think you have to be a man to be concerned with those things.
I
point.
just the first two concerns, you know,
I
like
often say that me and my husband's roles in life are reversed because I am such a guy. He has more emotions going through his head than I do, and he'll talk about anything. Like he'll like rant about everything, and I'm just like, uh-huh.
I think I don't know. I
Kinda-
think we're pretty well mad now. But I was for a very long time married to a perpetual 13-year-old. Corn Dog City.
It's even
And
worse
that's
when
the
it's
problem
he's drunk.
because
I don't see
It
a
wouldn't
problem.
generally have been a problem, except for it's sometimes annoying. It's like, I'm trying to do the dishes. Can you not fill in the blank? It's
The answer to that question is simple. No. No.
Sure enough.
Not really.
nope.
Now I
Have
bother
to.
him, so it's okay.
I got a question. I got a serious question for Willow.
Okay.
What has it been like since you've joined Garrett and this family of misfits?
You guys should know by now I thrive on chaos. I'm not normal whatsoever. I've never had a normal life, so this is being with you guys is just like being with family. So better than being with family, quite honestly. I would rather
trademark
have
that shit,
Thanksgiving
Doc.
dinner with you guys than my own.
Well,
It would be fun. Come for Thanksgiving. That would be awesome.
Oh my gosh.
I told Garrett this that he is family. We've known that family since
We moved here.
pretty much, and they took us in. And Garrett is my my father figure. So whenever I have stuff, I talk to him.
The
See, now
real
I
story
gotta take the blame for that on the internet. Thanks, Brian.
No, the real
Yeah,
story
thanks.
is that he's a cyber stalker, and it just ended up being that you felt bad for us, I think.
I gotta tell you, this whole community, the whole community that has accepted, us and our family and what we do, it's been a privilege. Every day is a privilege that I get to work with some fantastic creators, including Willow and Brian and Nicole, and Thomas and even Josh, who is still.
And even Josh.
Josh wants to know what emotions are. Josh, in the middle of the night when she says "Let's cuddle," that's emotion. Okay, I want you to know. I don't want you to be lost out there, brother. Just so many fantastic creators, and it is truly a privilege to do what I do every day, and to do it with you guys. So please, I truly feel that way,
Exactly.
and it's.
Did you hear what Nicole said though? 'Cause
No.
I'm gonna lighten us so
Oh,
we don't
God,
get all
thank
mushy
you.
smushy, right? She mentioned Thanksgiving. Could you imagine seeing the Thanksgiving table of HWWS creators?
Yes.
Can you imagine trying to make Steven build that table?
Yes, I can. He can pick it up and put it down again.
Steven can do it. Steven's good.
I believe
Right.
he could. I believe in him.
It's just the space to get us all together. Like, I
That's
think
true.
that we'd have to.
I want to formally apologize to Mart and Larissa for the chaos that ensues whenever we're in these rooms.
Yeah, it kind of feels like I'm honing in on like somebody's personal conversation and everything. I don't really know what's going
I'm sorry,
on.
Mart.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions for me?
Hey, let me change the subject. Okay, someone asked me recently, what was the first concert you ever seen?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah,
That would be
big arena concert. Has to be big arena concert.
That would be the Beach Boys.
Beach Boys.
Beach Boys and Three Dog Night.
How old were you?
Oh my God! Wow.
I'm pretty sure 5, 6 years old.
Oh,
You are my
didn't rush
soul
the stage?
sister.
Did you rush the stage?
Me and my sisters were actually dancing on the floor, and one of them, I don't know who, I just remember one of them reaching down and touching, wanting to shake our hands. So
What about Larissa? What was the
Yeah,
first
how
one
about
you
how about
ever
the rest
saw?
of you guys?
My first concert I remember going to, we had a concert of five bands for $5. It was Warrant, Kicks, Dangerous Toys, and then a couple of the other local bands. And yeah, it was
That's
there was
awesome.
a thunderstorm that day, and Jamie Lang was from Warrant was up in the rafters. It's lightning out. He was drunk, and yeah, it was a heck of a show. Very memorable.
Awesome. Brian, Nicole?
Well, mine was the biggest selling artist of all time, Garth Brooks.
Oh.
Oh, sweet.
Because I'm the child of a baby boomer, mine was Jethro Tull, actually.
There you go. That's all right. Nothing wrong with that. Mart, how about you, man? What was the first concert you saw?
1984's ZZ Top. The Eliminator album is just top of the charts. Everyone's listening to Legs. Everyone's loving their videos. It felt like the whole city was in the arena that night. And I rushed the stage. I was 12 years old, and I rushed the stage. And like my dad couldn't like catch me before I went. And then like a big crowd like got all around me. So my dad's just freaking out and everything. And he's standing on a chair trying to look for me and stuff like that, like in the big crowd. And the guys from ZZ Top are kind of figuring it out, like why my dad's worried. And the guys from ZZ Top were pointing me out to my dad while they were on stage playing.
All right. That's a good story.
That's pretty cool.
So, Sage, what about you?
Well, he said big stadium arena, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. That means I don't have to answer my first one or my second one. Actually, the biggest time was was the Eagles, the Hell Freezes Over tour. It was the first
Cool.
time I saw that at the Citrus Bowl, and that was phenomenal. I love that because I really didn't want to say at the Big County Fair. The first one I ever saw was New Kids on the Block.
Oh, there you go.
There's nothing
I'm
wrong
a
with
blockhead. I'll admit
You know,
it.
my first New Kids on the Block concert was in 2010 because I never got to go when I was a teenager.
They were
I'm
like
a jilted individual.
they were like the old kids on the block by then.
They
No,
were
they-
old when I
They
went.
still had it.
Yeah. No, I'm sure they did. I mean,
But back
I missed
then,
out.
age
I missed
wasn't
out.
A number. Now it's a number. It's like it doesn't matter because now you're closer to my age than you were back then.
It's a. I like what she did there. That was nice. The percentage game there. Yeah. I missed out on concerts when I was a kid. So I just didn't. I went to a boarding school. We didn't. Yeah.
Dude, I didn't see the Eagles Hell Freezes Over until I was in my 20s.
Well, I was to say, if I waited my 20s, then the only, stage concert I ever went to, the only one ever, I saw Sawyer Brown.
Oh.
Yep, and they were awesome. But I missed out on that when I was younger because I was marching in circles,
Sequestered.
Yes.
My big arena was actually Depeche Mode.
I do know. While I was being sequestered, my sister in the mid '70s got to see one of Elvis's last shows live.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I
she
would
was like
love to
six.
see Elvis.
She was like 6. No.
Better
Ellie.
remember that.
Ellie. Yeah, she was like 6. She went with my dad because he was a huge Elvis fan, and he took her, and they had a ball, apparently.
Awesome.
And then the
I
next.
got
Yeah.
a question now. Since we're on this subject, is there an artist that has passed that you would have loved to see live if you haven't?
Oh, that's
David
good.
Bowie.
David Bowie?
David Bowie. There you go.
Yeah.
There you
Michael
go.
Jackson.
Prince.
Prince.
Yeah, definitely.
Plenty
Michael
of
Jackson.
opportunity to see him live in Winnipeg, but never did get a chance. Never did go.
Jimi Hendrix.
Roy Orbison.
Nice. Ooh, nice.
Oh
Either-
yeah.
Either Aretha Franklin or George Michael.
Oh.
Honestly, because like I said, I missed out on like stadium concert kind of things, but I do like going to see live shows, And when I visited New Orleans, I got to see some amazing artists at the Preservation Hall. Just they walk in off the street and jam, and they had a picture up there. I would have loved to have gone to the Preservation Hall and seen Louis Armstrong play.
Ooh, nice.
Because they had pictures of him. He used to play at the Preservation Hall all the time. He'd just walking off the street, open his case, and sit down with whoever was there. And I would have loved to have seen that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Hey, can I say something?
Yeah,
This
absolutely.
puts my Canadiana to shame. I've never seen Leonard Cohen play live in concert. Now, all the Americans, you're probably saying, I don't know who that is, but us Canadians, he's the man. And I've never seen him live.
Terry McIver says Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Talk
Yeah.
about showman.
Yeah. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, that Queen was my playlist today as I was making dots.
Dina typed in behind the scenes here. She said hers is Elvis. Well, of course. We knew that.
Yes. She has a shrine.
Dina has an Elvis shrine in her office.
She does.
Yes.
I wanted to get her a face mask that because they have them on the Elvis site, and it's just the lower half of Elvis's face, and then your eyes would stick out from it. But she said she wouldn't wear it; she would put it in her shrine.
I have a cool
Trying to
Elvis.
resurrect Elvis?
I got a cool Elvis story. My mom, when she was younger, she had a friend that knew where Elvis lived in Bel Air. She went up there with her friend, and Lisa Marie was probably, I don't know, 6 or 7. She would take the ball, throw it over the fence, and then the people would throw it back at her.
Okay.
I thought that was cool. I mean, I grew up listening to Elvis, so Elvis was a big thing for me.
Oh, there's another one I wish I'd seen. It's her.
Oh,
Do you
okay.
recognize?
Is that Sade?
Do you
No, that's
recognize
Whitney.
that young woman?
That's Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't see from here.
Sorry.
Oh boy.
There she is again.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I saw it now.
She was a very
Sade's
stunning
still
woman
alive.
and
It's true. She is, isn't she? We're talking about dead
beautiful
singers.
voice.
My sister got to go on stage one time. She got to go. My sister got to twist with Chubby Checker.
Nice.
Oh man,
Again, she was like 8. I hate my sister, by the way.
like she did last summer.
Yeah. Yeah. She was like 8. She was spoiled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You say that in that voice, like I should push her down the stairs, kind of voice.
Somebody should have.
So, Garrett, you're joining us this Saturday as on Reels and Heels. We talk about musical scores for film.
Yeah,
Do
that's.
you have one that stands out that is your favorite? You want to kind of tease us now?
Oh boy, a musical score that is my favorite. Ooh.
How about you just don't say what it is and just tell us who it's by? Unless.
Let me get
Actually, I
my-
don't know the name. I have to look it up.
Oh, okay.
I don't know
There's
the name.
literally 3 people that everybody knows. So if you say those 3 people, then
No. Actually,
Yeah,
one
I
of my
like
favorite.
something by John Williams.
Yeah, I was gonna say. You might as well. You could do a whole show just on John Williams.
That's true.
And
Absolutely.
his scores. But no, my favorite score. It's not a John Williams score. I don't think, but it is. For the era, okay, so everybody in the world of John Williams, everybody knows that in the mid '70s, of course, the iconic Superman score was really, and then Star Wars '77 and there,
Yes. And Jaws.
and Jaws, that's right. But I think score-wise, mine is just a little bit earlier than that.
Ooh,
Just a
that's
little
that's
bit.
a good tease. Don't tell me anymore.
Yeah, and because it was awesome. It was an awesome score, and it's iconic, and everybody would know the movie by the score. Maybe if they know the movie at all, they might not now. I was looking it up on Netflix the other day. We looked it up on Netflix the other day because we wanted to show Steven. We wanted to show Steven for the cinematographer because he was also the cinematographer on one of our favorite sci-fi shows. And And so,
I got you now.
yep. But it's an iconic score, isn't it?
It is.
See? But yeah. And then, of course, the late 70s until now is anything scored is just John Williams is the master, the maestro, as it were.
Yes.
Um,
The be all.
And then, you guys did one on soundtracks not long ago, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And,
we did that last week.
And I'm an 80s kid, so anything that I
Best
went,
soundtrack
anything
ever.
that I saw in the theater as a kid
Yeah.
has the killer soundtrack. Because, in fact, the other day we were showing Steven some of them. We watched Flashdance the other day again to introduce Steven.
What a feeling.
Oh, Larissa, you have something?
What about the original animated version of the Transformers?
Ooh,
That's
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really good. What
I
was
mean,
it?
it had that new that had the 80s, it had that all that 80s rock feel to it. That and the of course the soundtrack to heavy metal. Who doesn't like that one?
Yeah,
That's true.
That
That
was
was
on one of our
mentioned,
lists.
too.
Yeah.
That's kind of a given, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh,
If you go to a movie, named that titled Heavy Metal, you're there for the music.
No, great.
Well, I look, I was in puberty around that time, so you're either there for the music or for the poster.
Yes.
Just saying, they had the best movie poster ever, and they got away with it.
Because it was art. It's a movie.
Yeah.
Well, look at the magazine. The magazine's still going strong.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. A couple days ago, I came across an old post that said that I would rather pose for a heavy metal magazine than pose for a Playboy, and I had people questioning why. I'm just like, because it's art.
Okay, I can live with that. Yeah, that's okay. Mm-hmm.
I have a twisted mind, guys, but I enjoy the art from heavy metal.
We like your mind.
But he brought up Transformers, then of course heavy metal. But animation had some of the just awesome music in the 80s too. They were doing more experimental stuff.
That's true.
And we have in our collection, we have The Last Unicorn,
Oh,
which
I
is
love The Last
always
Unicorn.
which is always a blast to watch. We watch that every couple of years just to keep it fresh because it's awesome.
Well, wasn't America was on that, right? The last
Yes.
the band
Yes.
America.
Mm-hmm.
But like, if you think about like scores for animation in the '80s, American Tail.
Yes.
Somewhere out there.
Yeah.
Linda Ronstadt
Absolutely.
and
Yeah, and then Land Before Time had a really. I
Oh
mean,
my God, I
that
love
whole
that movie.
that whole scene where the mom dies, like the music
oh my
that
god,
goes
don't
with
make
it.
me relive it. God.
Well, they talk about how music, like if you take music out of the movies, like any like scene like that doesn't affect you.
It's the feeling that goes along with it. It's the tone. So anything that stirs any sort of feeling in you is gonna be connected to the music, not necessarily the scene itself, because they're gonna be fused together.
And that's
Yeah.
just the keys for Saturday.
Look, we grew up in the 70s. If I hear those keys from Jaws, I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I won't go to the beach for like a month because it'll get stuck like an earworm in my head. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
I'm not going to the beach now. It's going in October.
That's it. Minor second, in case anybody cares.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
October. The only person at the beach right now is some guy from New York, and he's wearing socks up to his knees with red stripes on him.
Don't pay any attention. That was Garrett last week.
Hey, so you said you wanted to know what's going on in October. Someone is turning 40 in October.
Oh yeah, you just have to plug it for yourself, don't you? So I'm never gonna live this down. So for my 40th in June, he managed to surprise me, which is an incredible feat, to say the least. So literally didn't know until I walked in the party and said, well, whose party is it? And everybody went, yours, stupid. And I'm like, okay. Didn't realize it. So yes, Brian turned 40 in October. So
Well, happy
yet
coming
to
up. Birthday. I
decide.
guess we've got a lot of birthdays happening coming
have
up.
a
We
lot-
do. We have a
Okay,
lot of
Yeah.
them.
This is what happens when
Thomas's
when you
birthday's
get
coming up.
drunk on New Year's or Christmas and you decide to do some bad decisions. I was probably conceived from a one-night stand, so
I love her.
It's okay.
Nice.
you know, you're gonna get bad decisions all around.
Guys, we've had a blast here. Although we do have to call it a night. We've got Cosplay Michael over there, and
Yes.
we have to call it a night. But we just wanted to come in and tell everybody we love y'all, and we'll see you all
very
later.
much.
Thank you guys for having us in, and
Nice
have
meeting
a
you.
great
Yes,
rest
you
of the
too,
night.
Larissa
Yes.
and Mark. Very nice.
All
Make
righty.
sure that you guys check out hangingwithwebshow.com, and you can find us all over Instagram. Well, soon you're on Instagram.
Yeah, we are.
Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. You know, all the important
Everywhere.
places.
Do the thing.
And then HWWS on YouTube.
Yes. Oh, Hanging with Web Show. That's HANGIN with show.com.
All right, you guys have a great night.
Night.
Good night. Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Oh,
What happened?
I didn't mean to kick whoever, but whatever. All right, so Mart, you're
Yeah,
a
what's up?
musician.
Let me turn off my record player. How rude of me.
You're a musician, and I'd like to actually promote you.
Is that the dog?
All right. Johnny Sizzle's the name when I get on a stage.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you play?
You know, I play acoustic guitar, but I play it in a very rough, heavy-handed way, kind of in a metal style, punk style, rather than some sissy-ass, folky style. I'm definitely not a hippie. Definitely not.
Are we talking like the Ramones?
Like the Ramones and a lot of like British hardcore and now like I wouldn't go off and say I'm as good as Iron Maiden, but you know, power chords like that you hear in a lot of 80s metal and 90s metal and stuff like that. And yeah, I don't write regular songs. I don't write like "Oh, I love you" kind of songs or anything like that. No, and I think I'm a pretty good storyteller when it comes up being on stage, live on stage. So my live show, it's kind of like going to see a stand-up comedian, but also someone who could play music as well.
Interesting.
Yeah. Like if you could think of, let's say if you went to see Dave Chappelle in concert, but he could also play guitar. That would be kind of like what I can do, you know?
Nice.
Yeah. And yeah, it's a shame. What?
Are you on YouTube, or where can we find your music?
Yeah, I have songs out on YouTube, about 9 of them out there on YouTube, and you search for Johnny Sizzle, and there's other people who've made videos for me. I didn't ask them; they just did it. So thanks. And yeah, I have a new album coming out sometime very soon on Transistor 66 Records.
Nice.
And so yeah, I should be played all across Canada and maybe other countries. I'm not too sure.
Okay, awesome.
But I can't wait to hit the stage again. The last time I played a show in late February, I had a standing ovation, curtain call, and all that, and I was going, "Wow, what a year 2020 is! I can just feel the momentum." And then and I had other shows booked for April and May and June and stuff like that. And then March came along and said, no, everyone's being shut out. So doesn't matter how big of a name you are in music, you know, everyone's shut out from doing it live in front of people, no matter how big that group's going to be.
Yeah, but I'm looking at the ways that everybody's done with creating during this time. Like even the big name acts, the way that they've been doing a lot of stuff on social media. If after this pandemic is over, we don't get like great albums, because I'm sure there's people out there writing, we're gonna get some good music, I think.
Yeah, probably.
I think though it helps too with the accessibility. Like everybody can have access to it. So if you can't go to a concert, or if you didn't really have the money to go to a concert, you still, at this point, even though we were all stuck at home, we had access to getting free music. We had access to getting, access to people playing music, as opposed to, having to go somewhere and pay cover charges or ticket fees or whatever craziness. And believe me, like it's not like we didn't want to. Like, I'm super bummed that, like we had return concerts that we wanted to go see this year and didn't even buy tickets because it happened, so it's like, well, everything's canceled. So,
well, I was supposed to see Aqua again this month, but Aqua's coming back.
I love it.
So I love. Go ahead and make fun of me all you want, people, but I don't care. Aqua was my go-to for music for the 90s to get me over whatever crap was happening in my life at the time. 90s music was pretty much it, and I went to see their last concert last year. And
let's go for it.
Yeah,
now I got that damn song in my head.
So call it quits, but hopefully Aqua continues because their music is awesome.
Sorry.
Is Aqua your guilty pleasure music?
Oh, for sure.
Willow,
absolutely.
is it?
Aqua, Ace of Base. I love I love Euro music, Euro pop.
It's so funny because I say I listen to everything, and which I really do, because I went from Jethro Tull to Eminem. So Eminem was my second concert. So you can see that there's full genres there, but it's always funny when like people ask me, because I'm like, no, I just listen to it. Like, it's not like a guilty pleasure. It's just like, I listen to it. And I'm pretty honest about it too, because like, I guess in the mainstream, like when I talk to normal people, I guess I'm like, well, and I guess my guilty pleasure is the Jonas Brothers, but I just listen to music. Like, I just listen. If it's on, I'm going to appreciate it. And the more obscure, I guess, like there's a lot of stuff Brian's made me listen to, and I was like, oh, I hate it when you're right. And I ended up loving it. So I was listening to Ace of Base, and I was listening to Aqua, and I was listening to No Doubt, and I was listening to
you listen to Garbage too, right?
Garbage and
Garbage
Sublime,
awesome.
And I mean, I was listening to all of that. I was listening to Alanis Morissette, and I was really listening to the angsty music, I guess, which is pretty much the soundtrack of my high school career.
Yeah.
But
my guilty pleasure is Tim McGraw.
Oh, okay.
I love
Tim McGraw is really good, though.
Yeah.
I love Tim McGraw. And Faith
You
Hill.
know what? He has that singing voice that reminds me of having a great next door neighbor who invites you over for football games and barbecues and stuff like that. And I've never had that in my life. And that's what he reminds me of. I've always wanted that.
Like that true, like, country boy hospitality.
Yes.
Yep. He's definitely one. Top, like he. It was funny when Joe and I were trying to pick our wedding song, and I brought him Tim and Faith's wow, brain fart. Um,
I don't remember the name of the song either. I'd help you out.
It's Your Love.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could sing it in my head.
It's one of my favorite songs, and I just adore it. And then he's like, "Well, why don't we do this?" Like he's showing me songs, and he showed me this one song, like it's called Romeo and Juliet or something, and I'm like, no, absolutely not.
No,
it's
thank
about
you.
Death. The girl dies at the end.
It's like I would question his motives at that point. I'd be like, what do you really want to happen?
But he goes, it's a love song. I'm like, so is Tim and Faith's song. It's an even better love song. But it's funny, like we went back and forth on it for like months before we finally picked Truly Madly Deeply.
4-1.
Savage Garden. That's a good one.
It's like choosing the graduation song, trying to fit something that suits your feelings of the whole relationship, and then of course you end up with like the cheesiest one.
Ours was Boys to Men, The End of the Road. Like that was our graduation song. And then Brian's song, like Brian picked the song for our wedding song.
Oh, okay.
And so it was Ronan Keating's what was the title of the song? I can't remember the title.
Oh, sorry. I got a brain fart too.
See, this always happens to us. And it's the same response where I was like, what's going on? Why can't we think? I don't know. I don't remember what it's called, but he picked the song because I was like, I don't know. Like, I guess maybe I didn't really care. Because, like, when I think about our song, that's not the song I think of. It was the wedding song, but that's not our song.
Yeah.
Our song is a lot of songs.
It's a lot of songs, yeah.
Well, so
you're not in the right place to figure it out.
No, I know. I was just saying something. I had something here.
So was this a slow pop culture day or what?
I'm sure. Oh, I'm so sorry. There was a death in the wrestling family.
Yes,
we
one of the Road Warriors died.
Yeah. I'm sorry, guys.
That's all right. I mean, I woke up and I saw the news. Like, it wasn't even on like the headlines. I follow a lot of wrestlers, and a lot of wrestlers were tweeting about it, saying, "I hope it's not true." I mean,
yeah,
he was a great. I mean, it's sad because a few years back, well, more than a few years back, we lost Hawk, and now they're reunited.
Well, and I think anytime we look back and we lose somebody who's important to the industry, and then people look back so fondly at what they've done in the ring and what they did outside of the ring and the struggles they had, I think that there's an outpouring of love, and maybe in certain sections of the wrestling community, because we were watching when it was the 80s. We were all paying attention to that, maybe because in the 80s, wrestling and pop culture kind of merged a lot, and so did music. And so a lot of what we were seeing very public. Wrestling was more mainstream than it is now.
Yeah,
that's not really true, but I'm saying like wrestling.
Because in the 80s, you had what they called the rock and wrestling.
Yeah, and so like now, like when I was teaching in Las Vegas, because most of my kids were Hispanic, when I said that I was a wrestling fan, it caught a lot of people's attention because then they'd talk about what they watched on Monday Night Raw, like what did you think about that match, or what did you think about this wrestler, or whatever they said or did or whatever. And so it kind of bridged the gap because I had a common interest.
Yeah.
But I mean, like even here in Florida, I can't go into my classroom and expect a kid to know who Edge is.
Seth Rollins. Who's Seth Rollins?
The Monday
Even
Night
though he's
Messiah.
been given the world title a bunch of times.
I don't dislike him. It's just that I don't know. I'm like anybody who has a Jesus complex kind of irritates me, but I don't know.
But in other news that happened, Disney pushed all their movies back even further.
Yes, that is. Oh, I'm sorry, my brain was all over the place. Yes, Scarlet Witch and Vision is due to be released as well.
December.
So
They did release the trailer, and so that did help, I think.
Yeah, but like everything, like all the Marvel films and stuff, they're all pushed like until late 21.
Well, when you look at, but if you watch the videos where people are like deconstructing the trailer, I'm like, that's pretty cool because I don't know anything about the House of M. And because I watched the movies and stuff before I read any of the comic books. So like, I didn't know anything about it. I was like, okay, well, this might be an interesting storyline. Like there's that whole like madness type thing going with
leading
it.
towards Wanda's slip into whatever world she created when she put a curse on all mutants and took away their power.
Yeah. Which in a way, I'm super excited.
Is that Wonder Woman film ever going to come out?
Well, Wonder Woman was supposed to come out. I think they're now saying it's coming out for Christmas, but I don't think theaters are going to be like completely open. So,
okay.
I think if we can stay under 5%, they'll open. Like, because Florida's numbers are now below 5% of new cases.
But with a movie like that, you want to have as many theaters across the U.S. and Canada.
Okay,
open.
but you could still open theaters at 25% and just play it longer to give people an option to go.
Yeah.
Because my whole thing at this point is if we have to go through another year of this, our lives are just going to have to change. Like, we're just going to have to live our lives differently. And at this point, continuing to stay home and continuing to pretend like we can't be in places, it's contrary to what we are as humans. I mean, as social or generally social creatures, I think that it's unfair for us to believe that we're never going to be able to go back to normal. Like, it's going to be a different normal, and it's just going to have to be our normal.
Yeah.
Another thing that recently happened, we got the trailer for Mandalorian season 2.
I'm excited
Super
to see
excited.
that. Like I said to Joe, I'm like, I'm all for getting rid of our cable and going to the streaming services. And I asked Joe, I'm like, do you really want it? Do you want to get Disney Plus? Do you think it's worth getting? And he goes, well, they have all the Marvel movies. They have The Mandalorian, which I want to watch. And it's like, okay, let's do it. I'm done spending $400 on cable.
Disney Plus is worth it for what you said. Plus, they got National Geographic. They have all that Disney catalog films, some of them that have not even been released on DVD or Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Well, they have all the new stuff too. Like, there's sellers as far as like
all the
Jeff Goldblum, and we have all the Pixar, and all of the cartoons that we grew up with.
Yeah.
Are also on Disney Plus. So
yeah, like Rescue Rangers, Gargoyles,
Recess,
cartoons.
Doug is on there.
Doug was my favorite cartoon.
You know, I have some friends. They're really big into Star Wars, really big into Marvel comics. I tell them to get a Disney Plus account and everything like that. And it's such a new idea to them, and they're just like, no, 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 I'll just wait till the DVD comes out and stuff like that. And I'm just like, no, $9 a month, no big deal.
Yeah.
Really, it's not a
I
big
mean,
deal.
if we break down, we're paying a lot more for cable than what we would be paying for like three streaming services. Let's be honest here.
Our cable, our streaming app that we stream
We're
our
paying for the
cable
internet.
from, we're paying for the internet. So we're bundled. So we have a landline, and our cable is all bundled into our internet because we have like the super high speed ridiculousness to stream and to stream games for the kids. So in order to do all of that, we're already paying for all this other stuff. So there's no breaking it down. Like if they took the phone off of it, it would be like $7.
Yeah.
I'm like, whatever. It's not even worth it for me not to. So we don't pay for cable. We pay for their streaming service, but that's still only like $6 when you really break it down. I mean, the internet is what costs the most. And we got Disney Plus for free the first
year because we have
Verizon, and then we got it in a special deal the second year
for 3 years.
Then for 3 years. So we don't pay for Disney Plus right now, but we pay for Hulu, we pay for Netflix, and we pay for DC Universe.
That's closing.
And then it's closing, so we'll cancel that, and then we pay for something else.
And I don't count Amazon because we pay for
Prime. So
yeah.
So
All right, so we have 15 minutes left. Mart, I would actually like to hear you play your guitar. You keep bringing it out, and
I brought it out. I got to play it.
Want to play us home?
Well, I wrote a COVID song since we're all talking about COVID.
Okay.
Let's see if I remember it. I hear people falling behind me. That I'm a bum and a clown. When I spit on this green earth, I see their eyes look down. I may die fucking dumb, but at least I'll die happy. And you'll all be dead. And you won't be around to judge me. You can't judge me. You don't like all the things I do. Wait. You think my manners are all stupid? All of the things I say and do. But I won't be changing my ways now. I'll never conform to you. Hachu, hachu, hachu. Hachu, hachu, hachu. I may die fucking dumb, but at least I'll die happy. And you won't be around to hurt me. Oh, okay, I lost it. I need more practice.
That's okay.
I need more practice.
Well, thank you very much for playing what you did.
Yeah.
That was was awesome.
Yeah, I wrote that song like I was like a day or two just right after they announced COVID in North America,
Yeah.
and I was standing at this really busy bus stop, and I'm noticing people are standing apart from each other. Like it's noticeable that people are standing away from each other. And then off in the distance, someone's coughing. Someone is coughing. And I'm seeing people like darting around, like looking around and everything like that. And all like the mass hysteria of not having all the information right there, other than the opinion of this is something that's real and you could die from it.
Yeah.
You better watch out, you know. So yeah, I kind of wrote it like being kind of ignorant about COVID-19 to begin with, but I don't know. I kind of find it interesting, kind of looking back at it like 6 months later, like what I wrote 6 months later and everything. I'm still gonna record it. I'm still gonna play it on stage and stuff like that.
Awesome. I look forward to hearing the final cut.
Yeah, I should be recording it, 2 weeks from now.
Okay.
Yeah, I better practice.
Awesome. So we can find you, Mart, on YouTube. What was it, Johnny Sizzle? You said?
Yeah.
How do you spell that?
JOHNNY space SIZZLE.
Awesome. So I'll try to come up with. Oh, whoops. That's. Yeah, no, I enjoy hearing you, and I thank you for showing up. I appreciate you coming here. Nicole and Brian, I look forward to our show on Saturday.
Oh, yes.
Talking about music, and hopefully we're more well behaved than last week.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I missed that.
I'd appreciate the chat.
I'm pretty sure Kristen's in bed right now, but
one thing, if I'm never on again, okay?
Yeah.
When this coronavirus mess is all done with and we could get back into the radio studio, please join me for comic book radio theater. Pick your character, what you want to be. You want to be something X-Men, right?
Okay, yeah.
I think I do a pretty good Wolverine. So maybe didn't Wolverine and Kitty Pryde have like a limited series or something like that back in the day? Maybe I could find those comic books.
And so did Wolverine and Black Cat, called Claws.
Oh, okay.
We can do if I can find the. I have two. I have like 1 and 2. I'm looking for the third right now, but.
Well, I would rather have the comic book myself because I mark them up I mark them up a lot.
Okay.
Like you know the white spaces at the top of the page and around. Yeah, I mark those up with my with my music cues for my keyboard and my sound effects cues and stuff like that. I mark them up a lot. So yeah, I that's kind of like a warning I have for people who want to do it with me is that like
I will scan you. I will scan you some of the pictures, and we can go from there.
What?
I'll scan you some of the some of the pictures so that you can see what it's all about.
Okay.
And then we'll go from there.
All right. Cool.
All right. And tune in Friday because I'll be back here with the people who I was supposed to interview tonight. didn't get back to me until later on, and then things happen, life happens, it's okay. So I'm gonna have the some people from the Manitoba Podcast Festival on my show Friday. So make sure that you guys tune in to that, 8 p.m. Central. That would be 9 p.m. your time, Brian. So I'm back here Friday.
Awesome.
So 2 shows in 1 day, in 1 week. What? But that's what happens when you have randomness. But I appreciate you guys joining me today. Thank you so very much. I learned a lot, and I love you guys so very much. Have a great day. Have a great night.
All right. Nice meeting you, Mark.
Nice meeting you, Brian and Nicole.
Peace.
He's got the Detroit Red Wings on.
Yeah. Hockey Town.
It's